further back because it's so self-evident for us that just, oh, okay, probably in MediaWiki you don't have spaces, you have namespaces, but you don't have the spaces concept and so on. And you have topic portals, and I think we also drew from this idea, like it's category pages, and we draw from this idea, but it's a little bit different. So basically what we did is, since we are all technically in one space, we have these topic portals, and they have their own space homepage, so to say. And this I edited yesterday or during the night, because this is how a topic portal homepage looks like. And there are basically only two types of pages: content pages and topic portals. So you can get a topic portal by simply assigning the tag topic portal to the page, okay? But then the behavior of the page changes a little. So your search space is limited to the pages in the topic portal, to the pages that share the same combination of tags. And so this also is a change compared to the core system, to the Confluence Wiki, because they try, or they claim to be capable of searching any content and not having separated information spaces, and this completely did not work out for us. The system is simply too large and open. And I think the worst idea is like having a permission system, mixing up permission system and information space. Like saying, I built something and it relies on the permission system, and everything it sees permission-wise is the stuff that is of interest, or it's the stuff that is important in a certain work context. This is a really strange idea, and it's even more strange when it comes to, and this will be the bridge to AI and very special extensions, when it comes to having bots crawling the system and then relying. This creates really mess and headache. So in the very beginning, we have chosen, or we did this decision that we have the search space. You even get a tag cloud. We still have tags and have a tag cloud. You get an activity stream so that you can see what is happening in this space, right? And you get statistics for not only for this page. So this is the only exception where you have the statistics not at the end of the page, but here on the left side, and you get the statistics on that page for the whole topic portal. And also statistics are nothing like for content managers, power users, or whomever. Statistics can be seen by anybody, even with a nice breakdown, what department to a certain level, of course, is using what, and where do the visitors come from. So we rely on an external system for this, and we're pulling the data from it. So this is about topic portals, and topic portals tend to have certain sizes. So there are some around 100 pages, or most are 100 pages, 100 to 150 pages, and there are even ones like more than 1,000, some more than 1,000 pages. And it simply works. So it even scales up to this 1,500 pages. Yeah? You should not nest topic portals. This creates. It will work technically, but it will break your head. So basic setup. Now for some extensions. So you could extend Confluence with extensions called add-ins. Now they're called apps, and they have a quite, I would say, sophisticated system that you have to comply with to run an app. Yeah, because as we learned yesterday, it could be very complicated. What's the combination of core system and app version, and so back and so forth. And yeah, so with the help of Java and Java Enterprise features and so on, they created a quite sophisticated system, which is also a kind of learning curve if you want to develop an app. And there are still like side effects sometimes from one extension to another, but usually 90% is nicely shielded away and managed with that kind of technology. But it takes a learning curve to build apps. So, and the more simple stuff that we changed, in addition to topic portals, and this might also come from this idea of Enterprise 2.0, from this blogging thing and participation thing, is we show the users having edited the page with their profile pictures, yeah, on the left side, and you can hover over it and you see the personal profile and have links to all the corporate directories and whatever. So it's quite an integrative approach. And we moved tags up to the top again, because also like in Facebook and social media, tags magically disappeared. Yeah, then users say, oh, users don't like tagging. They don't tag. Of course, they don't tag if you don't prompt them, right? So we said it's important to have the tags still visible at a prominent position, not only being used in the back end for the topic portals and for creating lists or whatever, but also like showing, hey, you can tag your page. If you got a word that is not in the title, but that you want to be featured in search, yeah, please use the tag. So two important changes, I would say, from an UI perspective. So this is the overlay here that comes up. And of course, statistics on any page, visible to anyone. So we cannot go through this, but maybe the one or other extension might trigger something, and you can approach me later for special questions on that. It's only a selection, but I would say these are the most important extensions that we run. So we are quite conservative in a way. So we think twice or even 3 times if someone asks for an extension, right? And of course, after more than 10 years, you have some idea why users want to have something and what might be already there that could serve their needs. And we have some extensions, commercial extensions that we have licensed on the left side, and but we also build our own. Yeah. Okay, I forgot one. Something which is very simple, and it's not. I haven't seen it in many systems. I call it reach indicators. So this is what you see above the heads of the people. It shows how open a space is or how closed a space is. So it shows that if you see this, you see that whole Siemens and even some subsidiary companies, I mean, this is the help space for the system, have access to it. So you can see at a glance if this is something which is for 200 members of a team, because if you follow the numbers, we have closed spaces. And you have to pay for them, so this is a special setup, and of course this also helps, yeah? An organizational feature or problem, how we might call it. So if you follow the numbers, so there are closed spaces and there are team spaces, and you see at a glance like this is open for 50 members, for 1,000 members, 1,500, or open for the whole company, or even open for subsidiary companies. So very simple thing, added quite lately to the show, I think, but very important thing. Okay, so that is the stuff on the right that we build our own. So tech clouds I mentioned, we have something for translation and even connectors to other systems. So also migrating content, of course, is a topic. So we have migrated whole systems into our system. From time to time, we export stuff, even doing carve-outs, like we did a carve-out with Siemens Energy, which was 80,000 users. And they now have their own wiki, and of course, they had the right to take some IP with them. So we do a lot of import-export thing content-wise. And on the left side, yeah, also some connectors, connector to SharePoint. And on the bottom from this, we slowly see there are some extensions that bridge to data management or to more structured data. But we like to, as researchers, we like to look behind the scenes and still try to understand. And sometimes you really have to. So we had a kind of situation some weeks ago where there was an extension causing 2,000 database queries per second. And this really, I mean, the system did not went down, but almost did. And it was something that I prepared for a special use case, like expert search and pulling tables. And of course I tested, yeah, and it was a table with 1,500 entries, so not much, yeah. And it worked, and I tested it before I recommended the setup to the customer, and then right before the presentation I get the call like, your page is causing this the server load. Do you know what you do? And I say, yeah, I know what I do, guys. But yeah, and we really found out what the problem was, yeah. And there you really have to look behind the scenes. So we found out that a completely different extension did not use the cache. They decided to not use the cache for the properties, yeah? And then of course everything breaks down. So we are researchers, we know that we have to look behind the scenes, and quite recently we also built, I mean this is not really machine learning or artificial intelligence, but we also built some cool tools to understand content of other people. Like we don't do wiki gardening for whole Siemens. It's impossible with a team with 6 people, right? But from time to time we see, oh, there is a whole portal that is not used anymore, not used in terms of being visited and being edited. And then of course we like to do some cleanups. And then you have, sometimes you even don't have a person to speak anymore who knows the content. We get also tools for the dialogue with power users and content owners, but in that case it really helps to find out what kind of pages are that they're very old or very special. Like the colleague of mine built this graph, this outlier, so even in terms of length of pages or whatever, you can find if they're really strange pages. And this helps tremendously, yeah. Even if it's not bringing down your server, but doing some cleanup, so this visualization. And here you can see that this is one of the rare cases where hierarchy helps, because these are hierarchical structures. And so Confluence built a hierarchy internally, and we didn't show this for years, so we had a really flat approach with these topic portals. But at some point in time, we turned on showing the internal hierarchy of pages, which then gives you automated navigation and so on. So, but for the start, it's often quite helpful to not have the hierarchy, just rely on text and so on. But for these kind of analysis, like if you aggregate down the hierarchies, or if you planning or have to move content, then it's a good idea to have some hierarchical structure where you put one node after some analysis and move it to another space. So one of the rare cases where hierarchy helps. So I mentioned we do have integrations with other systems, far more than there are on this slide, but one important is with a corporate search engine, which also has some kind of view for persons, and then we link back now to the wiki system and so on. And quite recently, we also have a integration with Microsoft Copilot. So with the M365 Copilot thing. So quite simple integration, but starts to work. I mean, we had the topic already yesterday. Like if you want to spread the message, there was a talk about like SharePoint and MediaWiki and so on. Of course, you have to get your nice links, because wikis usually have nice links compared to other systems. You have to get your nice links into other systems. Yeah. So otherwise, people will use the tools they use anyway, right? And they know. So it's important to have some integrations. And now coming to more sophisticated plugins and apps, partially not even sitting directly in the wiki system, but running in different running on different platforms, but still crawling or pulling content from the wiki. I showed this tree map analysis thing. We have something for tag management. I mentioned migration. We have machine translation, so read-only machine translation currently, but you can say show this page in English and or in German, whatever. We even tried Chinese, but have problems to evaluate, of course. And you can even browse from page to page, but nothing is materialized, so this is only for viewing it. And we use also an external service for that. And we have WikiGPT, so like you can chat with your content. And usually, so the claim is chat with your documents, and I think the rest of the talk will be about chatting with your wiki content, why this is much cooler than chatting with documents. And so we slowly get to the, let's say, more researchy part. Okay, this is a complex thing. Basically, this is a slide of a very small but long-lasting research program of mine, where we were thinking about how much of data and structure not only could go into the wiki, but probably should go into the wiki. Yeah. So, and of course we learn what users adopt. So it's not our decision, like saying you have to store it, but it was the idea thinking a little bit deeper about what functionalities to offer. And we had yesterday the discussion like, where do you store your data points? And it might or might not surprise you. Also in Confluence, you got far more than one place to store the stuff. And it has consequences. Like I told with this not so funny story with the database queries, it has consequences. If you, of course, query the stuff, it suddenly matters where you stored it. Yeah. So this is ongoing discussion, but the research, small research package we have, like dealt from the idea what can we do, how can we bridge wiki to knowledge graphs and to more structured databases. So I was mentioning that I've been doing knowledge management and so on, and so for now more than 6 years, I'm in the AI research department of Siemens. So somehow we content and collaboration guys get back, so to say, back again to our colleagues who do semantic web, knowledge graphs, and also machine learning. So this is really, of course, a great place to be with a wiki, because even if it's sometimes a little bit like, okay, you do data, we do content, I could reach out to colleagues who do search engines all the time, colleagues who do knowledge graphs all the time. So it's, of course, it felt natural to see where are the bridges, where should we use the other technologies around our wiki sphere. And we focused simply on headings and sections, right? Because this gives you a quite natural structure of pages, far better than chunking your content arbitrary every 1,500 characters, having overlap or whatever. Those who do rack systems probably know what I'm talking about. So it gives you quite natural structure. Yeah, and the research goal was to explore this space. How far could and should we go with structured data in the wiki? Yeah, and built in, of course, is the idea like moving. I mean, 60 years after the invention of hypertext, slowly moving from documents to hypertext. So this could also be read at the baseline of this thing. So by the way, who of you has created a RAG system to use large language models? Who knows what a RAG system is? Okay, half of them. So most important.